The Xbox One S All Digital Edition is about to have its final boss fight. What's up everybody, Brad here, and if you remember back in the spring, Microsoft announced the Xbox One S All Digital Edition, which was codenamed Maverick, at the very disappointing price point of $249.99 in American dollars. And it came with a couple games, right? Minecraft, I think Forza Horizon, and Sea of Thieves, all bundled in, but it was a digital version of the games because there's no disk drive. That was the big deal, right? No disk drives, all digital. And at $249.99, it made no sense because you could get an Xbox One S with a disk drive for less money on Amazon with a bundle of a game with like Battlefield and other things. So the pricing never made sense, and Microsoft really botched it from the release. There was no other way to describe it. It was not well received because of that. Now, all along, I've been saying we need to wait until around Black Friday to see what happens with this console, because that seems like the ideal time for Microsoft to slash the price, and that is exactly what happened. So right now, you can buy the Xbox One S All Digital Edition, this guy right back here, and this is actually the Fortnite version. You can see it says Fortnite right there. We got Sea of Thieves. We also have Minecraft, all come with it, and the Fortnite stuff is like a unique skin, 2,000 V-Bucks, and a couple other things for $149.99. That actually makes sense. That is the price I think it honestly should have launched at, because it's trying to push the envelope of will people go all digital, because that's exactly what Microsoft is trying here. And I'm hearing kind of whispers around the neighborhood that if this price point doesn't really start to move this specific console, meaning the all digital, it might be the end of it. And that makes sense because Microsoft has this product at its lowest price point ever at $149.99. That is a good value for this console. If you don't have an Xbox and you're looking to join the Xbox family, if you will, $149 to get 3 games. That's not a bad deal. I think that's a fair value proposition for the holiday shopping season for this type of console, because again, you're taking that risk of you can't play movies or games that come on a disc. You could just have to download them, which I think for a sizable portion of the Xbox demographic, that's fine. I totally get that there's a sizable portion, but probably smaller than people who can do all digital that still need discs or prefer them because they like to own that game and be able to trade it in and get a few dollars back when they go to GameStop or wherever else, or trade it with friends. I totally understand why people still want disc-based games. And Phil Spencer has even said, hey, Scarlett, it's going to have a disk drive. So clearly Microsoft wasn't seeing like an enormous amount of success with this to go all in on Scarlett. And I think that would be crazy to do anyways, but they did try it, right? You got to give them a little bit of credit here for sticking their necks out, although they again, the price point was wrong. But at $149.99, that is a good value for the Xbox One S All Digital Edition. You can find that on Amazon and at other retailers. And I'll be very curious to see if this actually moves the needle on this console. I think this will be the final test for the product to see, hey, are consumers really ready to go this route? Does this have a future? Can we build a Scarlett console without a disk drive that will be slightly cheaper than one with a disk drive, and will it sell? That is the waters that Microsoft is testing here. But we don't have any solid evidence that it's doing all that well. You can kind of look at things online, and it's not a great indicator about how many people have left reviews. Typically, if a product has a lot of reviews, that means a lot of people bought it. I think there's just a couple, like a dozen or two reviews of this. I think it was like 15 to be exact. So it's not selling in high volume, but that's okay. Microsoft was trying it as an experiment, and at $149.99 for the holiday shopping season, that is about as good as it gets. I can't see Microsoft slashing that price much more going forward, especially as we run up to Scarlett. You remember, Scarlett is launching in about a year from now. Actually, it might be out in a year from right now, which means that this console has limited shelf life. Granted, once Scarlett comes out, it's not like this console stops working and stops playing games. We already know that there's going to be games that launch on both platforms, because that's typically how things happen during the transition period. So you'll get more than a year of use out of it, but it won't be it's not even the latest and greatest, because the Xbox One X is that, but you'll be able to play all the latest and greatest titles for at least a year, if not a little bit longer, for $150. And that's not a bad value. If you need an extra box, or you're buying one for a friend or your family, or you're buying one for your son or daughter, this might be the route to go to get to test out the waters, if you will. So we'll see how this plays out. I'm curious if any of you guys are going to be buying one at $150 as a secondary console. I personally am not, because I don't need one, but I understand that there's quite a few people who would actually prefer to have a second box. So there you go, $149 for this thing. Let's see if it works out.